resources there, but it seems that this year you've been focused now on that linebacker's position and also special teams as a punter. Big games, anything on the highlight reel for you that came up?
Best game was Antelope Valley this last week, but the highlight I think of the season was first game against Cerritos, 102-yard interception to the house.
Oof.
But it got called back, but it don't matter. I'm a team player.
Okay. Now, you're, of course, no stranger to East L.A. You played in your home field now at East L.A. College, Weingart Stadium. You played there for a number of years, 4 years when you were playing for Garfield. The difference in the high school versus the community college?
The difference is the speed, the size, and the athleticism that's on the other side. When you're in high school, you don't face that. If you're one of the best, you're best all around. And when you go to college, it's all your the skills and everything's, I mean, it's competitive. You have to work. You can't not go to practice without putting in work because there's someone in back of you that's putting in the work just as hard as you. Take your spot right there.
Okay, and academics, Steve, you're pursuing a certain line right now?
I'm undecided. I'm thinking as maybe a physical education teacher, but I'm not sure if I'm going to follow it. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Undecided.
On any given Saturday or Sunday, some of the favorite teams, players that you've been kind of looking at, maybe pick up a trait or a style from anybody in particular?
I have a lot of favorite players, but Coach Kane's, of course, number one. Dan, I'm number two.
Yeah.
No, but like I admire the small players that are out there, like Bob Sanders, a small safety. I mean, it just encourages me that size doesn't matter. I mean, if you could play and you could ball, then you could do it. You know, it just makes me feel confident. Maurice Drew, another small player,
Yes.
played running back. Darren Sproles, returning kickoff.
Yeah.
I look up to all the shorter, smaller athletes, which I compare to, and I mean, I would want to be like that. I want to play, and I want to stand out just as them, because I think the smaller you are, the more you stand out, because you're playing against bigger people, stronger people.
Okay. Great. It's good to see you again, Steve. But as I asked you to look to your left, you see a former enemy in terms of a Roosevelt Rough Rider. But, Coach, this is what can happen at a community college level. Those rivalries, they build up that competitive spirit, but now you've got them on the same team.
Yeah.
And speaking to our next player, and that will be Danny Vasquez from Roosevelt High School.
Yeah.
Danny, how you doing?
Good, sir.
Okay. Coach, the contributing factor for Danny this year,
Yeah.
this year's squad.
I must say, Danny, I'm sorry about saying Vasquez. And Danny, I remember the conversation I had with him when we were recruiting him, and he sat down, and you can just look into those steely eyes. There's something about his commitment, his loyalty to playing a game, and what he brings is that tenacity that you look for in a player, especially an offensive lineman.
Yes.
I like that grit about him. He's a guy that's going to go into battle with you, go into the game. He's going to prepare himself, and he's going to make sure that he comes off and knock the daylight out of folks that's on the other side of the ball, and he's going to do it on a regular basis.
Okay.
And so that really sold me in that he was committed to our program. He once he made that commitment, he said, "Coach, I'm with the team," and so he's been there ever since and doing an excellent job for us, opening up the holes for our running back. Ike Piguez is one of our running backs who has had several games where it's been over 100+ yards, and he's contributed to blocking and helping him gain those yards. They don't get the credit, but they deserve the credit when it comes to blocking.
Well, when those highlight reels come forth and those recruiters come knocking on the door, you're going to be able to, and Danny will be able to stand up to those individuals and say, yes, look at my body of work. And Danny, let's talk about some of the good things that you've done this season for the Huskies and for Coach Kane.
I mean, I'm offensive line, so I mean, I don't really touch the ball or anything, but I'm just happy for all the big plays, you know. I mean, I feel like as long as I make my block, I contribute.
Okay.
And, you know, when Denham scores a touchdown or Pedro throws a great pass or Pagis scores a touchdown, I feel good, you know. I contributed what I had to do. So I think throughout the season, I think that's what
They've
I look
always
for.
said that the offensive linemen have this extra bonding between them because it's so many men on the line that have to work as one. And I'm sure you're very, very comfortable with your guards and tackles and centers. Do you guys do much talking off ball or when you're not on the field?
Well, actually, I think that's the best part of where I play right now at ELAC because our chemistry is really great. Especially the O-line, I feel as if we're a big family. We're just, you know, everybody can agree with that. We all get along. There's no problems. I played with two of the guys on the line. I played with them since ninth grade. So I've known them, and the new guys that I gotten to know are great. You know, Willie and all the other guys. You know, great.
Okay. All right. So being able to protect the quarterback, open the holes for the running backs, and contributed to wins. And of course, sometimes we have to absorb the losses and have those as lessons learned and to prepare. But Danny, anything that came your way that blindsided you in a game, that caught you off guard, and said the defensive lineman did something?
There's a lot of great athletes out there, you know. So you always got to be prepared. But the first game actually, I was running, trying to make a block upfield, and they made the tackle, or if the tackle was going on, and I just got knocked out. I was like, and I just got back up. I was like, it happens, you know, got to keep going.
Okay. And your coaches, you work with them diligently, not only in the weight room, but during practice and maybe sometimes before or after practice?
Yeah, we're always watching film, you know. Whenever there's a question, directly to our coach, you know. We're always working with them.
Okay. They had an interesting scenario happen in one of the games we were playing where the official came to me and he said, Coach, your guys are talking to the defense, and you got to get them to quiet down, and you know. And so I go over to the sideline, and the guys are sitting there, and I walk up and I said, hey, you guys talking trash over there to the defense? And they go, no, Coach, we're talking to one another. We're saying things. And so I went back to the official and I said, hey, our guys are not talking trash to those guys. They're communicating to one another and telling them what they need to know and down the line. And the defense think they're talking trash to them. And so, and then the official said, okay, I'll take care of that. But, you know, that's one of the interesting, the fun things that I'm watching these guys do is that they're working together, collaborating with one another, which is what we're expecting out of them,
sure.
and then getting good results out of what they're doing. They're friends, they're buddies, they're getting to know one another. They're from different schools.
Yes.
And as you said, Garfield's sitting next to the Roosevelt, but it doesn't matter because you know why? Torres said it. We're Husky.
Yeah.
We teach our guys that they're Huskies now. They're no longer a part of that high school. They are a part of the high school when it comes to the history of it and where they come from, but they're Huskies now, and so we've developed that attitude.
Okay. Now, big question for both. I'm going to come back this way and ask each of you this final question. The Classic is just another week away. Danny, and your prediction for this year's East LA Classic, Roosevelt versus Garfield at Weingart Stadium?
You know, that's a tough question. You know, I'm a writer for life. You know, but you know, whatever happens, happens. I don't like predicting on football games. You know, it's just not it. That's not my style.
Anything can happen. You are so right. Okay, let's go to Steve and ask him for the alma mater, the love of our high schools. It's always there. You're passionate about it. It's a cultural event. It's a community event like no other in the country. And you've been a participant. Both you and Danny have played in that game. Your thoughts for this coming Classic?
Well, going into that game, I don't think records matter at all. That game doesn't compare to records, nothing. It's all the hard work, first off. But I'm going for Garfield. I think the harder working team's gonna win. And Garfield, as when I was there, we put in work. That the week is serious. Is that we try not to get caught up with the pep rallies, and that we're trying to be focused. And it's gonna be a big game for both schools. But I'm going for Garfield, of course.
Okay. All right. And then we pass it to Anthony because your big game also with the Franklin. When Wilson plays Franklin, right? That's the equivalent of Roosevelt Garfield?
Yeah, it's equivalent, but they played last week, and the Mules lost.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, horrible loss.
Okay.
I wasn't upset. They went out there, they fought, they tried, but the team that worked the hardest got the game, so I guess it's dedication that wins.
Yeah, because we've always appreciated Coach Eddie Martinez and his work ethic into the game, and he always brings out the best that he can do with the players he has. So that's a tribute to the coaching staff at Wilson. So we know that they are never out of a game.
Never.
They're very, very explosive.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I think we're going to continue on here. We're going to wrap up in just a few more minutes. But, Coach, while we have three of the very outstanding players sitting to our left, and, of course, you have the privilege of coaching them and guiding them at this phase of their young lives, the recruiters have to be looking, have to be coming, and your preparation to deal with them and to have the student athletes and the players get ready for them.
Well, you know, the biggest job trained the coach at